Welcome. Today we will be reading Lesson 38 in the workbook, and from the text, Chapter 5, Healing and Wholeness, the Introduction. And now for Lesson 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Your holiness reverses all the laws of the world. It is beyond every restriction of time, space, distance, and limits of any kind. Your holiness is totally unlimited in its power because it establishes you as a son of God, at one with the mind of his Creator. Through your holiness, the power of God is made manifest. Through your holiness, the power of God is made available. And there is nothing the power of God cannot do. Your holiness, then, can remove all pain, can end all sorrow, and can solve all problems. It can do so in connection with yourself and with anyone else. It is equal in its power to help anyone because it is equal in its power to save anyone. If you are holy, so is everything God created. You are holy because all things He created are holy. And all things He created are holy because you are. In today's exercises, we will apply the power of your holiness to all problems, difficulties, or suffering in any form that you happen to think of, in yourself or in someone else. We will make no distinctions because there are no distinctions. In the 4 longer practice periods, each preferably to last a full 5 minutes, repeat the idea for today. Close your eyes and then search your mind for any sense of loss or unhappiness of any kind as you see it. Try to make as little distinction as possible between a situation that is difficult for you and one that is difficult for someone else. Identify the situation specifically and also the name of the person concerned. Use this form in applying the idea for today. In the situation involving blank, in which I see myself, there is nothing that my holiness cannot do. In the situation involving blank, in which blank sees himself, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. From time to time, you may want to vary this procedure and add some relevant thoughts of your own. You might like, for example, to include thoughts such as, there is nothing my holiness cannot do, because the power of God lies in it. Introduce whatever variations appeal to you, but keep the exercises focused on the theme, "There is nothing my holiness cannot do." The purpose of today's exercises is to begin to instill in you a sense that you have dominion over all things because of what you are. In the frequent shorter applications, apply the idea in its original form, unless a specific problem concerning you or someone else arises or comes to mind. In that event, use the more specific form in applying the idea to it. The purpose of today's lesson is to help one understand that one has dominion or power over all things. One believes that the world has control and power over oneself. But the lesson is guiding one to see that it is actually the reverse. The power that determines what the world is coming from within. As previous lessons have pointed out, the perceptual world is an effect of what is occurring in one's awareness. Beyond the personal thoughts and desires is the power which is wholly, whole, and without boundaries, and is the infinite potential in which all things arise. This power of love is available to oneself because of the love that one was created to be, and is not subject to the limitations of the world. One's holiness is unlimited in its power both to heal oneself and to heal others. And now for our text reading for today, from chapter 5, Healing and Wholeness. Introduction. To heal is to make happy. I have told you to think how many opportunities you have had to gladden yourself, and how many you have refused. This is the same as telling you that you have refused to heal yourself. The light that belongs to you is the light of joy. Radiance is not associated with sorrow. Joy calls forth an integrated willingness to share it, and promotes the mind's natural impulse to respond as one. Those who attempt to heal without being wholly joyous themselves call forth different kinds of responses at the same time, and thus deprive others of the joy of responding wholeheartedly. To be wholehearted, you must be happy. If fear and love cannot coexist, and if it is impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive, the only possible whole state is that of love. There is no difference between love and joy. Therefore, the only possible whole state is the wholly joyous. To heal or to make joyous is therefore the same as to integrate and to make one. That is why it makes no difference to what part or by what part of the sonship the healing is offered. Every part benefits, and benefits equally. You are being blessed by every beneficent thought of any of your brothers anywhere. You should want to bless them in return, out of gratitude. You need not know them individually, or they you. The light is so strong that it radiates throughout the sonship and returns thanks to the Father for radiating his joy upon it. Only God's holy children are worthy channels of his beautiful joy, because only they are beautiful enough to hold it by sharing it. It is impossible for a child of God to love his neighbor except as himself. That is why the healer's prayer is, "Let me know this brother as I know myself." In this introduction to Chapter 5, Healing and Wholeness, we are informed that joy is the very nature of healing. Healing is being restored to one's natural state, which is joy. There is no difference between love and joy, and thus joy, like love, willingly extends itself to others, sharing its radiance that shines away all sorrow. Joy is a state of wholeness and is the same as joining in oneness. Thus one is blessed by any happy thought of another anywhere. Any healing offered to another is shared by everyone, and all benefit equally. One need not know the other to benefit from their healing, for the light of joy radiates throughout the shared self. Thus, to truly love another is to love them as oneself, and this is to know them as one knows oneself.